to welcome you to the Daryl
and Ryan
show
thing. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have anything good there. Sorry about that, folks. Try better next time.
All right, well, you can see I'm wearing my Pittsburgh Steelers t-shirt today.
It's nice.
Thank you. Reason why I'm wearing this, we're going to talk about sports today.
Yeah.
And one reason we're going to talk about sports, maybe some of you saw that Michael Jordan documentary that came out last Sunday. And Ryan,
yes,
you were a huge MJ fan.
I was.
So tell me, what did you think of that parts 1 and part 2 Sunday night?
So it's interesting. After part 1 was it aired back to back. After part 1, I was like, that's pretty good. I knew most of the stuff. Like I'm a pretty big Michael Jordan historian, if I do say so myself. Little humble brag. So I even looked at Laura and I was like, I knew a lot of that. It's still pretty good. Episode 2 got me. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I never knew about.
All right. Anything particular about episode 2 you want to share?
Think. I don't know. A lot of the tension with the GM. I knew there was some tension. I didn't know how bad that was. But they left you at a cliffhanger. If you didn't watch it yet, sorry for the spoiler alert. But at the end, you don't know. Scottie Pippen looks like he wants a trade. So I texted Daryl. I was like, do you think Scotty's going to get traded?
And I'm not going to lie. So that's what frustrates me about the documentary.
Yeah.
I think they're going to end on a cliffhanger with each episode. So each week, you're going to be like, what happens next?
Yeah.
And here I'm being dumb, right? Is Scottie Pippen going to get traded? Are they going to win a championship? And then I pause. Like, this was back in 1997. We know what happened, right? Why is there a cliffhanger? We know the story.
I'm still intrigued. I mean, I very closely followed this as it happened. 97? I would have been
9,
8, I think. Yeah. So I watched what happened, but I'm like, oh, what's going to happen next?
Yeah.
We're texting each other about it. That was a good time. I enjoyed texting you during the documentary.
I had my wings, had a couple Pepsis. That was a great night.
I think I was eating some ice cream, so it was a good time.
But I tell you, this is, I think the Chicago Bulls were definitely the greatest team in the 90s, but there's another team I'm dying for them to do a documentary on that Michael Jordan was a part of. Can you guess that team?
The other team that Jordan was a part of?
Other team that Jordan was a part of.
The Wizards?
Not the Wizards.
The Laney High School that he played for back in high school?
Not them. another good team, though. Not them.
The Dream Team?
Not the Dream Team. This team is better than the Dream Team.
He played for North Carolina. I don't know. I'm not a guess.
The Toon Squad.
The Toon Squad.
I want a documentary with him following Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, the Tasmanian Devil. You know Taz,
yes.
He'd be like the Dennis Rodman of that team and just going crazy.
If you don't know what we're referring to, we're talking about the greatest movie of all time, Space Jam.
Space Jam.
I see Pastor Brant, who's our filmographer here, laughing. He disagrees. He's never seen Space Jam. That's it. Just kidding. We'll watch Space Jam later.
Hey, yeah.
Socially distant. It's a great movie. My goodness, I love it.
It turns out a lot of people watch the show, especially some junior hires, some younger people. If you have not seen Space Jam, kill an hour and a half with your quarantine and watch that movie. So it's a great movie, Space Jam.
You will be better because of it.
Greatest sport team to ever exist was the Toon Squad.
And what's crazy, the best part about that whole movie?
What?
It's based on a true story.
It is. It's why Michael Jordan came back to play basketball, because of what happened with him and the Looney Tunes. But speaking of sports celebrities, something you might not know, but me and LeBron James have something in common.
Really?
Yeah. Both me and LeBron James have won championships with the Heat.
That's awesome.
It is.
Is there a story attached to this?
There is a story attached to this.
Okay, cool. Let's hear it.
LeBron, he won with the Miami Heat. I won a championship with the 97-98 Indian River Rec League Heat team.
Solid. That's awesome.
Solid. But I was one of the worst players on that team. I know some of you are having a hard time believing that, me not being good at basketball, but I was vertically challenged and I guess horizontally challenged too. But what happened? It was me and 2 other guys. The 3 of us. We were just horrible, and we did really well in the regular season. Playoffs happened. My mom had to call the coach to get the playoff schedule so that I knew where the playoff games were. Yeah.
Was that intentional?
It was. I think it was because it was three of us. We were really bad players, and like only me and another guy showed up. The third guy, he just disappeared. Like I honestly, I feel like the coach didn't tell him when the games were, because in the rec league, you had to play players half the game. So the coach was forced to play me in 2 quarters, and I think he was just biting his nails, and he was just really frustrated that he had to do that. So I want to say thanks, Mom, for making sure I could be on a championship basketball team, even though I was probably at least top 3 worst players on that team.
That's awesome.
It is. So Ryan,
yeah,
I know. My sports career was a little bit different than yours. What was some sports stories you have? Growing up?
I was an all right player. I was all right. I wasn't like an all-star superstar, but I was all right.
Right.
I did have this really big claim to fame, and those of you that followed my basketball career may know where I'm going with this. I believe I still hold the all-time record for most times throwing up in the middle of a game in Spring Cove basketball history. So I'm not going to go into the gross details. If you want them later.
That's kind of gross in itself.
Right.
We know you hold the record for that.
Yeah, but I could tell you what I ate beforehand, and you don't want me to do that. So let's see. It happened 5th grade. I'd eaten lunch. I won't go into details. We were at the, where were we? Jewish Memorial Center, and I got sick on the floor. And then, was that 5th or 6th grade? I can't remember now. Regardless, once we hit 7th grade, then it was actual school ball. We were at the old Roosevelt Junior High. It's no longer there anymore. I think they had to take it down because of me throwing up on the basketball floor. That's not true. But yet again, I got sick during a game. So at that point, this is not a joke. I would get to away games, because after that we started traveling in 7th grade to away games, and I would find the nearest trash can to the court just because I was a little bit afraid. So the final straw, 10th grade, I was legitimately sick. I just didn't tell my coach I was sick because I wanted to play, and he told me I probably should have told him I was sick. But regardless, after that, I was terrified it was going to happen in a varsity game, and I am very thankful that it never did.
So was there like a play when your team was down by 10 and they needed games to pause? Coach was like, Richie, was that like what happened?
Yeah, that was play number 4. No, I'm just kidding. We didn't have that play.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it on command. I don't know what would happen. I've always been a little bit of a squeamish kind of guy. But what's crazy that now that I have a baby, you think like that would make me sick all the time, dealing with diapers and whatnot. I do all right. I do all right.
That's
good.
That's good.
Yep.
So question, when you would throw up on the court, embarrassing, what was that? What was that like for you?
I think it was embarrassing at first. Eventually, it just kind of turned into this running gag. That was a pun. Yeah, I don't know. I had to learn to try to not be embarrassed by it.
Yeah.
Eventually, it wasn't on the court, so it was fine. We're talking about this too much. I think we just lost half our viewers.
So I'll talk to you about, it has nothing to do with throwing up or anything like that,
good.
But my most embarrassing moment playing sports, and it happened back in 8th grade. So what happened, I made the JV basketball team. Okay, I know that sounds shocking in itself, but I went. Don't laugh too hard at that.
I'm not.
But I went to a small Christian school, so the talent pool was incredibly small, and somehow I lucked my way on this team. And our very first game, kid you not, we're playing against a school rival. It was the Gateway Crusaders.
Sound tough.
Yeah, they're very tough. Gateway Crusaders, and I was on the Providence Eagles. And what happened, I'm the last guy on the bench, 8th grade Daryl, right? I don't expect to play or anything, and the game's going on, and this is a really intense game. And out of nowhere, the coach stares at the end of the bench, and he's like, Cyrus, get up here. And everyone on the bench is shocked, right? I'm shocked, right? I'm like, did he say Cyrus? He said, Cyrus, get up here, right? And no one on the bench can believe this is happening, right? And I'm so excited. I rip off my warm-up gear and everything, like the little button pants and the little warm-up jersey, and I run up to the coach.
I'm picturing all this.
Yeah, you are. And the coach is like, Cyrus, take a knee. I took a knee. He said, you see those guys out there? You see our team? They are playing really hard. Are you taking that in? I'm like, yeah, coach. He says, So I'm sure they're probably thirsty. I need you to take these water bottles and go fill them up in the back. And that was the longest walk of my life back down that bench. Because, here I am. I'm running up to the coach all excited.
Ripping your warm-ups off.
Yeah, staring at the other guys on the bench like, yeah, I'm getting some playing time. And they're all just shocked. And as soon as he said, go fill up these water bottles, that was the longest walk ever because people just laugh. They're laughing with their eyes and snickering and everything. So,
oh, man.
Yeah, that was
That's nuts.
Most embarrassing moment. And that was kind of my playing time that year. I got to be a glorified water boy for the team.
I was thinking of one athletic achievement that I never actually achieved. So do you remember those old Nickelodeon game shows?
Yeah.
I always wanted to be on Legends of the Hidden Temple. I'm wearing my Green Monkey shirt right now, and I never got to be on that. So that's just a disappointment. Do you remember watching that? Did you watch those shows back in the day?
I watched like Double Dare. And,
Double Dare.
Yeah, things like that. That was a great show, but I think they're bringing back Legends of the Hidden
Are they
Temple.
really?
I think they are. I think Nickelodeon was going to bring that show back, so it can still happen, Ryan.
That's a great show. If they let people in their 30s on it, I don't know.
You, Laura, Charlie gets a little bit older.
That'd be awesome.
Guys can be on that show together.
I'm going to live vicariously through my son and have him train for that show.
Oh, he's going to grow up watching all these videos.
Absolutely, he is.
He's going to hide them from his friends, though, as he rightfully should. All right. So let's talk about, some worship and scripture, how we tie all that in together for everyone. And I don't know much about singing or songs, so Ryan.
Yeah.
Well, what do you have for us today in that way?
Yeah, you guys. I mean, if you don't know by now, you'll know. Like, music's so important to me. Music is what's got me through some really tough times in the past. God's used that music to get me through some tough times. So I wanted to read a psalm that talks about singing. This is Psalm 9, verses 1 and 2. I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart. I will recount all of your wonderful deeds. I will be glad and exult in you. I will sing praise to your name, O Most High. So you have, this, I want to make sure it was David. A lot of them are David. David here talks about specifically singing praise to the name of God. And that's something that we should do in our highest times and our lowest times. And a lot of us are dealing with a low time right now. So music has been particularly important to me. And worship music for sure. Like that's gotta be kind of my main focus. Words that honor God and glorify Him. But just music for fun too. Music in general, I think honors God whenever we're enjoying music because it's something He created. So my son Charlie and I have been releasing a series of concerts on my social media pages on Instagram and Facebook. If you don't follow me, feel free to do so. But we've been doing these concerts. And I've gotten way more results from that than anything I've ever posted without my son. So thanks, Charlie. I love you so much. Thank you for getting me a lot of views.
When you're 12 years old, Charlie, you're going to hate watching this.
Absolutely, you are. Yep. Yeah, so we've been taking some requests, too. So let's show a short clip. Why don't we show a short clip from one of those concerts?
Sure.
Yeah, so that's been a lot of fun. We're taking some requests, so if you have any requests for Charlie and me, let me know. On the worship side of things, as far as music to sing along to sing with others to God, Camp Mantowagan Band. Have you ever heard of them, Daryl?
I have. I'm familiar with Camp Mantowagan Band.
Yeah, so that's a band. I'm in Camp Mantowagan Band. We've been playing music together for a long time. We've been writing music every summer since, I believe it was 2012, so it's been quite a while. We have a lot of summer camp theme songs. We have some other songs we've written for retreats and whatnot. And we have music on Spotify and iTunes and everything else, digital platforms. So that just goes to show literally anybody can get their music on those platforms.
I can't for some reason. I always get rejected for
I'm sorry.
whatever.
Yeah, most people can.
Most people can. Hopefully you can.
Yeah, hopefully. So look it up. We have a couple albums on there. The first one that we did was called "I Will Not Be Shaken: Songs from the Wilderness," and that one was from a couple years ago. And then we have a newer one that we put out last year called I almost forgot what it was called. "Since We Have This Hope," and it was a line from one of our songs. "Since We Have This Hope," and it's a lot of. I mean, I don't want to tout my own music, but it's such a collective creative process that a lot of us have worked on, and it's something I'm really proud of. Something I think that's true we try to stay true to the scriptures. We write out of scripture, and we try to honor God through all of our music. There's one song, if you listen to the newer album, "Since We Have This Hope," that might not fit the worship genre. Have you ever heard of the Bear song?
Well, hey, I know this. You can't enjoy camp or the great outdoors without nature, and bears are definitely a part of that.
Yes. So there's a song called the Bear Song that we sang at camp, at the campfire on the bus. We had a special guest appearance from our very own Pastor Brant Leidy.
He looked at me.
He looked at me.
I looked at him.
I looked at him.
He sized me up.
He sized me up.
I sized up him.
I sized up him.
He looked at me. I looked at him. He sized me up. I sized up him.
Now, we're going to try something here. We need to remain socially distant. There's not enough room at this table for 3 people. So Pastor Brant's going to stay at the camera. And we're going to do a quick interview with Pastor Brant. Let me hit record. We're here with Pastor Brant. So Pastor Brant, tell us, where did the Bear Song come from?
The Bear Song came from a camp director when I was a kid, Jim Bohr, who he attended our church. He was my 6th grade elementary teacher. And he went to camp every year and sang these songs, and he passed them on to me. So now I'm passing them on to the campers.
That's pretty awesome. Now, Pastor Brant, tell us, what was your experience like recording this song? Were you nervous?
I wasn't real nervous. I just kind of had fun with it because I knew we could stop and keep recording, but it actually was one take, so I'm not sure how that happened. But yeah, it was pretty cool.
One take. Daryl, do you have any questions for Pastor Brant while we have him?
Yeah. So, Brant, how does it feel to make your honorary first appearance on the Daryl and Ryan show?
I feel extremely unworthy to even be in the presence of the video of the Ryan and Daryl show. Notice I said it's the Ryan and Daryl show.
Wow.
Ouch, that hurts.
And what did you mean by that?
Just what I said. It's the Ryan and Daryl show.
Fair enough. I always went with Daryl and Ryan just because you're older than me.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Pastor Brant.
I love Daryl. There was nothing personal.
Yeah, so I just wonder now, do we have to add Brant into the title of the show now? Daryl, Ryan, Brant, and keep on bringing in people till we have this really super long name?
We can't do that until we're allowed to be in groups of 10 or more, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so that's my song recommendation for the one other thing too. If you go to our Spotify page in particular, Camp Mantowagan Band, if you scroll to the bottom, there's they call it artist playlists. The past 2 summers, all the songs that we did at camp, whether they were original songs or others, are on those playlists. So I'd recommend that you check out those playlists. Really good stuff, and looking forward to hopefully getting together for camp here this summer. As of now, we're still making plans for camp, and we're still working on some music and stuff. So yeah.
So for people that might not be familiar with Camp Mantowagan, what does the name Mantowagan mean?
Are we going to have to go to Pastor Brant for this?
Yeah, well, Mantowagan is an Indian name, and it simply means one who has spiritual power. That's where Mantowagan comes from.
Nice. Now you know, Daryl.
Yeah, now I know. Now we all know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we talk about one who has spiritual power, and how does that work in our lives? Well, our spiritual power is connected to Jesus, and I know for me, the best way to connect with Jesus is through his word. And like I've said in previous episodes, wow, it's nice to be able to say previous episodes.
This is episode 3.
Episode 3. Whew. Things go downhill after episode 3.
Is that what happens?
And that's what normally happens in movie franchises.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But I'm going through Matthew. I'm hitting Matthew chapter 8. And Matthew chapter 8, it seems like it's all about choices. It's all about what do people think of Jesus. And then Jesus throws it back to them on what choices they're going to make. There's this one guy who's a leper, and he says, Jesus, I know you have the ability to heal me, but are you willing? And speaking of Camp Mantowagan, I remember we did a winter retreat there, and we had a speaker, Dave Taylor. He came in, and the way he taught on that passage, on that verse, just really hit me, that the leper never doubted Jesus' ability to heal, but he doubted if Jesus cared, if Jesus was willing to heal him. And throughout this chapter, you see people, they're not so much doubting the power of Jesus, but they're asking, are you willing to help? Are you willing to meet us where we need to be met? And if you look in the chapter, there's this time they're having a storm, and the disciples are like, do you not care that we're perishing? And maybe for some of us right now, we could find ourselves going in that direction. And what Jesus told the disciples is something I know I needed to hear this week, and maybe you need to hear this, that why are you of such little faith? And that's what Jesus said to the disciples, and he calmed the storm. And when you get to the end of that chapter, Jesus heals 2 men that are possessed by demons. And after that, the people begged Jesus, but they didn't beg him to stay. They begged him to leave. And that's why I just find fascinating that you have Jesus, he's doing all these things in people's lives, and at the end of the day, people are begging Jesus to leave. And in Matthew chapter 8, there's tons of choices, and for me, for Ryan, for Brant, our honorary cameraman and first-time guest, and for all of us, what choices are we willing to make? And that's what really hit me this week. So I hope we would choose to not only recognize that Jesus has the power to work in our lives, but to realize, more importantly, that he desires and wants to work in our lives.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else for today?
I think I'm what's the word I'm looking for? Fresh out. I'm fresh out of ideas.
Fresh out of
I was saying flesh out. I'm not fleshed out, stupid.
We should do a show on misquoted phrases like that.
Misquoted phrases.
Yeah, we're definitely slowing down.
Yeah.
I have this urge to just start playing with the slinky on the desk. Maybe next time.
After episode 3, it all goes downhill.
That's true. It's going downhill. If you've made it this far, I'd just like to say thank you, Mom, for watching. That's all I have to say.
All right. So this is, I'm not sure if it's the Ryan or Daryl, but we'll just say
Daryl and Ryan.
We'll say Daryl.
Welcome to episode 4. We're just going for it.
Okay, but so long from the Daryl
and Ryan
show.
program.